安，不然好像没有人。看，好像是没有人。然后，我好像没有什么事想要说。好，有啦，感冒有比较好一点，没有再咳嗽了，所以今天就不会一直咳嗽被打断了。然后今天继续玩 Tangle Tower。还有什么事吗？哦，我今天没有去上家教，因为改成昨天。然后，他们昨天不知道为什么，就是变得比较乖，他们都就是愿意坐下来好好上课。只不过呢，昨天变成是他们一直在跟我聊天，但是我又觉得说，好啦，他们愿意跟我讲话也是好的啦，所以我就跟他们聊天。所以其实好像也没有上到什么东西。好，今天我们的忠实观众跑去听演唱会了，看来是目前应该是不会来看台了，所以好像也没什么好等的。我每次不知道我刚开就在那边等，不知道在等什么东西。那我们就可以直接开始了。其实，废话不多说。我把音乐关掉。他的音乐为什么这么可怕？这样子有吗？这样子有画面吗？有了，应该有的东西都有了。调整一下。好。好，所以前礼拜五到了 Fitz 的房间，然后我们是要开这个门，然后
It's locked, but it leads outside.
I thought we were halfway up a tower.
声音会不会太小？看一下。
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
大声一点。就是我们要解这个，然后还不知道怎么解嘛，对不对？那我们先不要理
Let's
他。
come back once we know what to do.
好空啊，这房间。然后我们还可以去哪？我们先把没去过的房间都去一次哦。音乐室。
Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
Are they?
Whatever they like a little parade of.
Oh, whatever it is, it's playing a little trumpet.
Well, it is the music room. He's got to practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
一座闪闪发光的雕像，上面是一只拿着喇叭的奇怪生物。雕像的喇叭上有一条明显的贯穿裂缝，喇叭里头和地面上都是各种玻璃碎片。为什么什么东西都裂掉了？到底为什么？他们到底有没有要好好整理一下这家？什么东西全部都裂掉了？
Oh, whatever it is,
Well,
it's
it got
what's with all the broken glass?
然后有玻璃碎片。 还有放大镜给你看，怕你看不清楚啊。哦
Sheet music. It's handwritten.
That's a lot of notes. Looks pretty difficult.
Probably why they're on the floor.
看一下，这应该不会太大声吧？这个音乐蛮好听的耶。好，不管，继续。
Who plays the violin, I wonder?
It's pretty dusty. So I'm guessing nobody.
One old wooden bookcase.
Yep.
25 dry old books. 4 lit candles.
Yeah.
Am I the only one seeing the problem?
啊？有什么问题吗？还有什么？
All right, you got your wish.
Spooky murder mansion?
Spooky murder mansion. All right,
Spooky-
spooky murder mansion.
Smells like a forest in here. It's a globe.
For globing. All right, spooky murder mansion. There's a faded mural on the wall.
When I was a kid, I never knew the difference between a mural and a mosaic.
Mosaic，
You still don't know, do you?
No.
马赛克。还有什么东西吗？
All right,
Spooky-
spooky murder mansion. It's one of those big pianos with the open lids.
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
中邪。为什么？
Are
为什
you a
么
ghost?
这么可怕？
Sally, that's rude. Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
他头好，
That
他
makes
头
you
好
a
贱。
suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
What's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a
Poppy.
pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
I know.
他全部都 P 耶
Hey,
，Poppy
you're pretty
Pointer
good.
All
Pianist。
in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
你自己
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The
Percival.
professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
Do people ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away, definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi... things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer.
昨天
3.5 hours of piano practice, soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that.
那时候只有4只手指头。
Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of metal, but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually, she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The 3 of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. Poppy's bedroom is unlocked.
I wonder what's in there.
哦，我不是。好暗哦！为什么？不知道为什么他们家都要搞得像就是鬼屋一样。那他们家的人都长超怪的啦。章鱼。
It's an octopus.
No, it's not. It has 6 legs, not 8. Don't say it.
哎呦，我的滑鼠啊！我
Sextopus.
我滑鼠它会自己按2下。
It's an octopus.
No, it's not. It has 6 legs. No. Don't say it.
Sextopus.
Sextopus. 这是什么？
It's a metronome for keeping time.
It's ticking.
又要解谜啦！
Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be ticking. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
使用按钮旋转4个节拍器刻度盘至顶部圆环，可是大家都要一起上去的。 啊，这是这里哦，就圆的跟歪的一起动，然后这个就是正方形跟歪的一起动。哦，这个就是圆的跟十字的一起动。歪，这样。
I did it. What do I win?
Not bad.
这算简单啊！昨天的好
Little
难，
hatch unlocked in the
不是
back.
昨天，前几天的好难。
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. It's a part of a photograph.
哎，我们是不是上一次有找到一张被撕掉的照片？是谁啊？这张撕碎的照片上有一名穿着粉红衣服的金发少女。照片中的女孩用着一款亮粉红色的录放音机，还戴着成套耳机。照片其余部分是菲菲和 Freya， 她藏在 Freya 的房间里。然后我没有找到这个。好，所以你猜。
There's something about that pink cassette tape. Something suspicious.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
等一下，我还没看完这里。等一下，好，所以我们看完这里要去找 Poppy， 问他粉红色卡带。
That is the bed of a vampire.
I thought vampires slept in coffins.
This is a vampire who needs firm support for their lower back.
架背部需要牢固支撑。
This is a vampire who needs firm support. Just a bunch of clothes on the floor. Nothing weird about that.
To you.
Anything in the wardrobe?
Dresses mostly. I never realized there were so many shades of black.
这么多种黑色。
A single red rose. How very traditional.
Yeah, weird.
Sheet music.
It's only a few notes. I'd barely even call that music.
Yeah, it's been framed though. Must be important for some reason.
配有老派的精美插图，老派的精美插图。来，我们来看看，这是，我好久没有看谱了，等一下哦。这是高音哆嘛？这里我记得应该是这样吧，所以是哆瑞咪咪咪咪瑞，这是升还是降？我已经忘了。瑞，然后。咪咪哆，好，钢琴。
There's a name for this kind of piano. You know, these ones that stand upright.
在叹气。
Oh, thank goodness, there are 7 lit candles. Wouldn't want it to be dark in here.
地上有魔法阵。
Ah, yes, a giant symbol drawn in chalk on the floor. Always a good omen.
It's an eye.
为什么？
Gloomy.
But roomy. Various handmade posters.
他是在做法是不是？
What do you think those symbols mean?
Hopefully, nothing.
为什么？
A big glass door leads out into a garden. Somehow.
There's a little mechanism by the handle.
啊，一样的。啊，一样的。打开啊，所以这图是一样的，就是太阳的位置，我看一下哦，这样，好。
Something happened.
That must be it.
嗯
And the door's still locked.
啊，
I still feel like we made some sort of progress.
所以这样子是打开了吧？应该是打开了，只是没有办法从这边进去。还有什么东西要看吗？
Empty.
好，然后
Ah, yes, a giant.
Oh, it's an eye.
然后我们要去找 Poppy。 问他为什么他的音乐这样？这个
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody?
他们要回答顺便全部问一
So
问
there
好
are
了。
2 families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora is a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother.
Primrose.
She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the fellows and the pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea.
他们关系好复杂哦。
There's something I noticed about Freya's knife wound.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, the blade went in at an exact right angle, perpendicular to Freya's body. And there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands, or anywhere else. The whole thing is just a little too peaceful.
太平静了。
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah, weird. This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy. Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you. Freya would always load up the palette with all the exact colors she was gonna need. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the actual painting itself, like getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long piece.
Right. So the blob of black paint in the middle, that was for painting Flora?
那是黑的吗？
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do.
看起来像
When
墨
I
绿
first
色。
saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a knife with blood on the tip.
You don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it helps. Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything.
可是我觉得他应该不是把刀。就我们
It was my mother's originally.
So why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes.
就是我们在就是这个啊鸟类书籍上面看到这里，你看这里有一个羽毛，看起来也蛮像倒着还是写下去，不知道，只是不知道为什么画上面会有血这样。
Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Natural
对
wear
啊，到
and
底为什
tear,
么？
maybe?
为什么每个东西都
No
会
way.
裂？
Freya took good care of her stuff. What was inside?
Nothing.
Huh. Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly?
Oh. How nice.
Flora 是谁？我没有见过吗？哦，那是 Flora。我还有2个人没有见到，应该一个是他爸爸，那什么 Vol 的，然后还有一个唔知影是啥，什么 什么皮的，忘记人家名字。
Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
I think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes.
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable.
还是这个是他，感觉蛮像的。为什么画风突变？
That's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that? That belongs to Flora, I think.
Flora 了。
Was that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her privacy.
I thought you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
吵架，吵
I'm
架。
sure she'd tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it. Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No? Should we have?
No, it's just... It looks like something she'd use, don't you think? Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah, I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh, never seen him use it. Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano. I don't know what that is.
别说，那明明就是在你房
Considering
间
we
里。
found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there.
应该是他小时候吧。
I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me.
还有一个，别跑。
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized. Yeah, it's mine.
What's so special about it?
I got it from my teacher. It's the first piece I ever learned.
How long have you been playing?
Since the day I turned 6. Family tradition. I was really excited to start learning. As soon as I got out of my first lesson, I told Freya and Fifi all about it. When I arrived at my second lesson the next day, Freya was there too. She hadn't asked permission, just showed up. For 2 whole years, the teacher taught us both.
Was Freya any good?
She would have been even better than me, if she'd stuck with it. But one day, she just stopped coming to lessons.
Why?
That's just it. There was no reason. That's when I realized things were different for her.
他怎么了？这什么八六来的意思？好，那应该还有啦，下面还有一行。那人物也问一下吗？全部解开来再问好了，反正最后也是要全部问掉的。然后啊，可以去开那个废子房间的门了。我小时候也有学过钢琴，但 哇，学钢琴真的好累哦。所以后来我也不上了，大概只学了1、2年吧。
It's locked, but it leads outside.
然后现在全部都忘光了，
I thought we were halfway up the
连
tower.
看谱都不会看了。
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
我记得有一个是在这里吗？这样吗？
Nothing.
The
哦，不是
tiles
吗？
have all got
Those moves.
maybe they're
我忘了这样吗？啊，对，
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. Finally, it's open.
我们可以去花园了。
Whatever's on the other side better be worth it.
屋顶花园，这什么？他们家都有一些奇怪两栖类生物的雕像。
Giant stone frog. Love it.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
毛，羽毛。
That's one big dragonfly.
好肥。
Or one very small dragon. Ah, a little water feature.
It's making me sleepy.
Wonder how it's hooked up. It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. And apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red, too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly.
又来，奇怪两声内。
It's another little statue, doing a really bad job of hiding in the bushes.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing headphones.
Well, they're not part of the statue. And they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
耳罩，雕像上戴着一对耳罩。我得到一个成就，叫做沼泽怪物。怎样？为什么？我觉得这一定跟第一代有什么关联？第一代就是在讲沼泽怪物。
It's so relaxing. I might just stay here.
How shall I go finish the investigation on my own?
That'd be great.
这是鸟鸟吗？
Trees. On a roof.
In a garden.
In a garden. On a roof.
蛋。
More egg statues. Well, either they have some special significance.
Yeah,
An
why
egg
not?
has got to be the easy.
That's
More
it.
egg statues.
I don't get it. Why eggs?
Well, either they have some special significance, or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make.
我的滑鼠，它会有时候会自己按2下。
More egg
I
statues.
don't get what you mean.
An egg has got to be the easiest.
A little pond.
It looks really, really deep for some reason. See those metal bars around the edges too?
Oh, yeah. What do you suppose they're for?
Nothing anymore. Looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it.
还有什么呢？
It's the door into Fitz's room.
One of only 2 ways to get into the garden.
Oh, yeah.
哦，你们2个是不是？
The door into Poppy's room.
So only Poppy and Fitz can get into the garden?
Huh. I guess so. It's the window into Fitz's bedroom.
You know, he's pretty lucky. I wish my bedroom window had a view this nice.
可是他房间很空哎。
It's so relaxing. I might just...
How shall I?
That'd be great.
哦，应该没什么东西了吧？看一下地上有没有掉什么东西哦。应该没了。然后我们再去楼上。哎，这怎么了？这又要问什么吗？不管，等一下再说。我们先上去，然后再下来，然后再去问，再去找他。天文塔。 他们这一家人都是躲在家里，然后做奇怪的研究。好，来。
Yeah, it's too cloudy to see any stars right now.
It's also daytime.
Yeah,
It's also daytime. Pretty. You know, I've always wanted one of those.
A mechanical solar system? What would you do with it?
I would look at it.
又要解谜了。
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle, sun on the outside. How old is this thing?
旋转围绕中心的5颗行星，太阳和月亮。哦，这是太这是月亮吧？这是太阳。然后，哦，我要让这个光变成这样，是不是？这东西是长这样。这个应该是这个是对的，这样。
No, that was it.
Nice work.
为什么我觉得今天都比较简单？前天上一次的都好，我都要想好久哦。
Did you hear that? Something unlocked.
There's a little hatch underneath? What's in there?
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
金甲虫各种研究笔记和图表，这是多少啊？4还是6啊？金甲虫因其外骨骼而得名，由大约90%类似黄金的矿物组成，寿命为数年。它会发出巨大的嘶嘶声，记录超过95分贝，太大声，把那么小一只叫成这样，造成捕食者完全无法消化，借以抵御捕食者。有不太可靠传言指出，看见这种生物会招来厄运。好，就是甲虫，然后它的壳呢有类似黄金的矿物组成。哦，这个好像我记得上前作好像有讲到，就是这种。就是叫什么？就是外壳是类似金属的甲虫的事情，在那个 Remington 的桌上，记得好像有这东西。好，
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
Gizmos.
What is it?
Ah, it's clearly some kind of large device.
You're not wrong.
It's tidier than my desk. The notebook is untouched. It's completely blank.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
It's a chart of the solar system. Which planet are you from, Sally? It's a chart of the A Spyglass to the Stars, volumes 1 to 12.
They're in very good condition.
A bell jar. It's empty.
What do people normally keep in bell jars?
玫瑰花。
Other than bells, you mean?
其实我没有。
Listen, do you hear them? The stars. They're whispering. So quiet, and yet so loud.
What are they whispering about? Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
Mm-hmm. Could this speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
这是书还是屋顶？我发现我的相机快要没电了，那我要换个电池。稍等我一下。这样应该可以吧？这样子应该可以吧？好，我看一下。安安，吃晚餐中，你吃什么？因为我今天眼睛看起来特别小。你自己
Me? Not much to say. Strictly speaking, I'm the current head of the Pointer family. And of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the cosmos I say hi.
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening.
猪肉馅饼，好吃吗？今天好吗？今天好啊。每次都说好啊。
I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that.
Sour power， 好吃耶！我觉得这真的很好吃。好，所以等一下 ，Fiona 到底是谁啊 ？Fiona 是 Fifi 对不对？那我们就差一个人，不知道是谁。然后还有一些东西。那没关系，我们把大家都找出来，把所有的证据或者是线索找出来，大家来问。好，这里应该。
Every astronomy tower needs a telescope.
I want to try.
傻小，所以他一直都在看对面吗？他不是在看天空吗？
It's the tower opposite this one.
傻小偷窥狂。
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up. Behind her is the back side of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting. I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this angle.
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
Don't you think it would fall off? In the wind?
Maybe it's glued down.
I can just about see the gramophone.
Is that a window?
I think it is.
Is there another room above Flora's room?
We should check that next time we're over there.
这上还有一个房间，应该差不多了。
Isn't this supposed to be an astronomy telescope? I'm pretty sure you need to see the sky for astronomy to work.
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
他一直都在看对面吗？要不要解释一下，老兄？ 没有办法，好吧。然后我们去这里，不知道这是什么，还没开。好，我们来这里，这间很大间哦。鸟舍 ，Hello。我们先看环境。
My little writing desk. It's kind of cute.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle. They're bird cages, but the birds are coming and going freely.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is. Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
Judgmental.
Bird diagrams.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff.
Bird
They're
diagrams.
beautiful. Someone really... I don't like mirrors. They steal your soul.
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do it by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
凭重量。鸟鸟。
An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
3只鸟鸟。好大只。你头上也有鸟鸟。还有什么？
A rather magnificent bush. Somewhat cruelly confined to a stone pot.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage. What's with those little windows down there?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
Oh,
应该是这样吧。
does this count as being outdoors?
Yeah. No. Doesn't matter.
Hello。
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape. You're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for
Pen.
Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of
他
it.
对啊，他的
Penelope
手
sounds
也
a
是
little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
Penelope Penny。你头上有鸟鸟。
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of
Lady
course,
Bird.
where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him. Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitz fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
夫人小心点啊，夫人。
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our 2 families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
夫人小心点。
I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help
Hogan.
him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
我的猫有话想跟我说。
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
好，我们讲完话了。既然人都出来了，我来问一下吧。我猜，依照这个游戏上前作的特性这个 Penny 很有可能是凶手。最后一个出场的人最可疑了。但不知道还不知道，随便猜啦，随便讲。人怎么不见了？我刚刚去跟我的猫稍微谈，我们进行了一个对话。
A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it. I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that he's retreated into. People are better off when they just let themselves be themselves. Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable. She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh. I mean, you don't need to.
No. It's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it. She's a most unsavory little... She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...?
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in. She's his responsibility. Did you not know that?
所以他请他来调查事情。
She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabel, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve. Got it, thanks. For my 21st birthday, she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her, but she had a way of understanding unspoken things. Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't remember asking for your input.
小心点，小心点。
Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion, I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide? Okay, so what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
Oh, she's beautiful. Who is she? Wait, is that me?
疯疯癫癫的。
Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
Why would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one, too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it.
好，然后线索。
You know, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you?
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
Couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest.
为什么全部都给 Papi？
Finally, I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Well, only last week I asked that miserable Hawkshaw woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist. I'm sure I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though. Goodness me, Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it.
你怎么知道那是 Papi 的？
Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue. Oh, that's rather sad. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her. Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Oh yes, adorable. How terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene.
3种粉。
Freya doesn't take very good care of her paints, does she? But then she was always rather bohemian, had her own priorities. Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo!
If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it? I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew. Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least. Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style. Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes.
Oh.
Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct.
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one, well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh.
Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent.
你看很嗨呢。
I don't know what that is. Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point, I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look. Oh, did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right. Haven't seen this one in a while. He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea. Looks a little simple for Poppy, doesn't it? Thought she was a grade 12 or something.
I didn't know there were that many grades.
I'm sure they invented some new ones just for her.
对他真的很有意见。
There used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating breeds, all totally unique.
Used to be? There are birds all over the place.
Most of them are rather ordinary, I'm afraid.
What happened to the non-ordinary ones?
That is a very good question. Lovely. Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten most
Ta-ta-ta.
of those names.
Which one is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest, Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? It's just my hat. It doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
因为很只是帽子。好，那就剩下这里了吧？会不会？应该不会有下面的吧？ 还是有啊，还是人都问完了。
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now?
走，这样子所有地方都开了。Penny房间也是一堆鸟。怎么了？
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all.
现在就去什么？不能在这里吗？为什么要来这里？可疑陈述。
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then I heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
"这个好可爱哦、好吧，没有可以的点。我去房间。
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds?
又要解谜了。
They're wooden.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
调整七只鸟的位置。这怎样啊？眼睛吗？眼睛。可是，是什么？就是族谱的概念吗？要从哪 哪里开始嘞？还是颜色？颜色有差吗？比如说可能是怎样？就是蓝色加红色、原绿色之类的，然后眼睛往那边就变中间，娘，混色，什么混色？混什么色？颜色加起来吗？它嘴巴也不一样嘴巴有嘴巴开的程度不一样，所以这样应该是对吧？或者是那这个加这个会变成，还是不是？还是这个加这个开半啊？对啦，这个加白色，然后它颜色变浅，然后绿色加红色变成咖啡色。
I got it.
Yeah. 遗传学，孟德尔。
I'm impressed.
不是，我觉得今天的都比昨天的好解一点，不是昨天，上次的好解一点。上次的我都想好久呢。
Did the door open? What's in there?
将撕碎的纸揉成一团，里面包着红色花瓣，纸上有愤怒的潦草字迹。现在我要对付她。Now I'll get her. 花瓣来自生长在屋顶花园的红玫瑰。好。哎呀，看来有人很生气哦。夫人啊。还有什么？什么都没看。
Looks like nature invited itself in. Rude. That's some flower.
There's something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
盆栽花，一种色彩鲜艳、形状奇特的花，它看起来很健康，照顾得很好。盆里的土看起来清新湿润，呈现一种不寻常的蓝色。为什么他们土都蓝色的？好，应该就这样。然后帽子。
Ever get the feeling you're being watched?
The mannequins don't have eyes, though.
That's not a comforting sentence.
等一下。好。茶。
A little tea set. Looks recently used.
One of the cups has tea in it.
What's in the other one?
Birdseed.
跟娘娘一起喝下午茶。
A little bedtime reading?
Let's see. Romance novels, detective novels, and...
What?
This one appears to be both.
Nice.
That bed. It's like something from a fairy tale.
Does it feel warm over here, or is it just me?
No, you're right. Maybe the bed has some kind of heater.
哇，床还有暖气哦，好好。
It's not coming from the bed.
Oh.
It's coming from the wall.
That might be the most pointless staircase I've ever seen.
这样好累啊，要睡觉还要走楼梯，有多懒？
Ever get the feeling you're
The
being...
mannequins don't have eyes.
That's not a...
还有什么吗？
Looks like nature and rude. This is the fanciest room so far.
Too fancy.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
那我觉得他的房间现在是目前为止看起来最舒服的一间。然后嘞，再来。 每个地方都开了吧？这是什么意思？哦，他的音乐，他的音乐。
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used
Not
to like
my
these colors.
color. 还是一个紫色的人，没有吧？他以前长这样啦，是吧？他以前长这样啦。
Let's take a closer look at this.
这两个线索之间有什么关联？对啊，他以前长这样。重点是不是？你看他以前长这样，他头是这个形状，然后他现在他头是超长的。金发女孩，粉红色卡带，卡带上的裂痕应该是粉红色卡带吧？发现于犯罪现场吻合金发女孩，发现于还是什么照片？还有别的东西吗？嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣啊！这个了。在这张旧照片里是 Poppy 用的。
The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
因为他们都只有4只手指头。
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
昭然若揭，酷哦，这个词。Poppy 不想再像那样，我们胸口可以，不是吧？那个太跳跃了吧？
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
不是哦，重点是每个东西都裂开了哦，不是只有那东西裂开哦，全部都这裂开，这裂开，那什么这个裂开，这个也裂开，全部都裂开。还有什么事吗？所以等一下看看，他讲完了，然后那我们来问他人。这个音乐真超可怕。
Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the mouth they dwell. the spoken word unfit for dealing with the shifting form of feeling, stand unblinking in the face of taciturn and soundless space.
这是一首诗吗？好帅啊！怎么了？怎么了？
Foregone drifter, holding fast, days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender, accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some four walls make around a room?
他是都会为每个人写一首诗，是不是？
Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to depart. Lost her liberation lays in the center of a maze.
文青。
With surging tide, the waves are thrown, an entity of all its own. But on its surface you may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will.
只是他这诗是有什么意义吗？就是不知道欸。
Hard of head, but free of mind, unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond, behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied, it's hers, it's free. Was then, is now, will ever be. Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush its gentle birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart to nature's way.
好赞哦！
Eavesdrop what the stars are saying, earthly tether slowly fraying, floating helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet the flowers growing at your feet. Feathers flashing in the light from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, but all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage. That's me. I'm on a list of murder suspects. Always thought that would be kinda cool, but it's just tedious.
Falls a little short, doesn't it?
没有自己的诗吗？好吧，人，然后线索。
I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Why's that?
It's quiet.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
I found them lying around. I think they belong to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones, like he's in the recording studio with his guitar.
好可爱哦！
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway. I can't remember exactly. You get some weird insects around here. I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Why?
For fun, obviously. I think it's kinda cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective. Those petals.
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual. Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Right.
好吧，还有缺。我又解除一个成就，叫做诗人与钢琴家。 那我们再去找每个人，然后把。可是还差2个线索啊，还有上面没去过。2楼，什么有奇怪动物
It's a statue of a wolf, standing up straight, like a man.
You know, there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed.
这里有一只。
It's a jar. The head screws off.
Huh. Just dusty junk. Just dusty junk.
Someone painted out the window.
Do you think it was done recently?
No idea. Either way, it's pretty suspicious. Nothing catching my interest.
I'm sorry, is this spooky attic boring you?
Kinda.
Just dusty junk.
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
那你不敢开吗？对。
What is that?
Not sure. Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
好，拿到了卷轴玩叶，顶部有螺丝的蝗虫卷轴，绕在卷轴上的是一段细红绳。
Where's that light coming from?
Oh, it's just daylight, I think. There's a decent gap between those floorboards. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? Sally, you don't have a dust allergy, do you?
No. Do you?
Let me put it this way.
它没有什么东西。
Nothing catching my interest.
I'm sorry, is this...
Kinda.
Just dusty junk.
少一个哎。
Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry.
Kinda.
我帮。这什么？我们该和 Felix 谈谈，但是我不知道做什么事情的时候，他会告诉我我现在可以做什么。没关系，我们就照顺序这样下来。啊啾！我们先去找他好了，把所有东西都问完。应该没有什么东西溜掉了，应该没有什么东西漏掉，顺便看一下有没有。
The attic's directly above us, right?
Yeah.
Hello, 姐姐。
Anything we should know? Any hobbies? Besides staring out the window?
好吧，他可能就都不会说话了。
We met Felix, your husband. He's one of our suspects, and he seems pretty suspicious if you ask me. So, if you want to stick up for him, now's your chance.
Nice try. We spoke to your daughter, Fifi. She's some kind of super intelligent scientist. You must be proud of her. We spoke to Hawkshaw. I assume she didn't get anything out of you either. I bet that really ticked her off.
Were you close with Freya? How are you two related?
哎，等一
Did you
下，还
kill
有
Freya?
Grimoire!
What? I don't even think
他
she's
有5只
listening.
手指头，是不是？你看，1、2、
Oh,
3、4，
she's
可是
listening.
应该还有一个大拇指。他是不是有5只？其他人都只有4只，还是他就这4只？然后就这样。
Do you and Fitz have anything to do with each other? Other than your
唯
initials?
一有5只，还是没有？他其实就是这4只，就是这挡住了，其实根本就没有的，他都4只。
You know the guy in the other tower? weird astronomy professor guy?
Can you see him from your window? Can he see you?
What do you know about
好
Penny?
尴尬啊！
I can't really imagine those two being friends, to be honest.
You never know. Do you and Poppy get along?
Nothing. Shocker. Grimoire, what could you possibly be writing down?
Oh no, I gave up making notes ages ago. Now I'm just doodling in the margins.
哎，我们还是有线索，要把它问完。不管，我就是要把它按完。
Did you ask Freya to paint this? Or was it her idea?
What is that you're holding in the painting, Flora? Some people have been saying it's a knife. Is this your gramophone?
Do you know why it's cracked? Flora, this is your egg? Why do you keep it locked?
Is there supposed to be something in there? Or is it always empty?
要这样一
You
直不
haven't
讲话也
seen
是很
this
难
yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you? What do you think of your husband's hobby?
Do you have any hobbies? This is a photo of Fifi, isn't it? Your daughter? Have you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
I really thought she was gonna say something there. Do you know what this is?
Guess not. Do you know anything about these birds? Or birds in general? Do you know anything about this beetle?
Do you recognize any of these feathers?
好，不讲话就是不讲话。但是之后应该还有东西，所以还是要来找他。好，然后还有这个还没开，然后我们再去找别人吧。Hello， 他们每个人都有一个背景音乐。
Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Oh, yes. Been married over 20 years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of three. Always something of a lone wolf, you know? Just the way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from the company of other humans.
Other humans?
Well, yes, other people, you know. You're the one currently basking in his presence. You tell me.
Let's move on.
My daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
Oh.
Quite the character, eh? A fellow member of the Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Is that a real thing?
No, I just meant because we both wear, you know, red capes of a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
If you call that questioning, she seemed bored by everything I had to say. I heard on the grapevine, supposedly Hawkshaw is searching for some rare item. Something called the Golden Beetle. Honestly, it's probably a bunch of sensationalist rubbish.
You reckon?
Quite sure. There is no treasure called the Golden Beetle.
How do you know?
Because I would have heard of it.
你确定吗？
Uncommonly skilled as an artist, but Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped me get started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too. Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially recently.
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You should take a look at it.
What about her inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was around 3 years old. She came to live here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over anything at Tangle Tower.
对啊，想要离开啊！等下这名字到底发生什么事？这个打喷会掉下来。
Fitz? I don't trust him. He's slippery. Never commits to anything. Brain like an onion.
An onion?
Did you two have an argument?
No, but my daughter doesn't like him at all. And I trust Fiona's judgment entirely. She's a very vigilant young woman. Percival Pointer. Good old... So, what do you reckon? Is he the murderer?
I don't know, maybe. We still need...
That is not information we're willing to share at this time.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Holds on to a lot of bitterness, does old Pointer. Just because he's always struggled to support his family. Slightly pathetic, really.
And how long have you known him?
Over 35 years.
Childhood friends? Rivals?
Don't know if I'd do him the honor of considering him my rival. Penelope seems to have really settled into a groove. She struggled a bit when she was younger. Always a little estranged.
How come?
Well, she was mostly raised by her uncle, and he really only makes time for his own daughter. Now, of course, she's bringing the two families together through her marriage. It's a nice gesture, heartfelt, but futile. Poppy's a good friend to my daughter, always has been. I think they get on well because they're so different.
Different like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
不然我吃东西哦。
Charming, isn't it? Yes. Built by the Remington family originally. Dear Flora's father and his associates.
But now it's owned by you? By the Fellow family?
The Fellows and the Pointers have both come to claim a certain degree of ownership.
And who named it Tangle Tower?
Flora chose the name.
What does it mean?
I think it was her intention that it mean nothing at all. Something of a fresh start.
From what?
This really isn't for me to say, but she had some kind of disagreement with her siblings. After they moved away, Flora changed the name of the house. I think perhaps she hoped it would make them feel unwelcome, is less likely to come back.
That's kind of extreme.
Yes, it is rather, isn't it? What's this?
It's my case file. It's how I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
You mean to say you're bound by the limits of what's written in this little document? Sounds dreadful.
I found it comforting.
Rather ugly, isn't it, as far as statues go? Years of wind and rain have not been kind to it either.
Do you know what it is? The creature, I mean.
It's connected to the Remington family history in some way, but I can't recall.
就是有好多线索，对啊，我觉得应该还有就是这里说不定还有下一页之类的，而且就是比如说这个啊，这个还不知道它是什么东西，这个也不知道，因为它是一个机关嘛，在楼下花园的一个机关，然后就很多东西还不知道到底是什么东西，然后这游戏应该蛮长的，应该会比以前做还要长很多很多吧。然后，对啊，还有大家的，就是这个啊，就是有点像前作的那种 challenge， 都还没有打开，可能要先跟大家讲过话之后才会开吧。然后地图的话，我不确定有没有地方没开，但是这里空空的，看起来有点可疑哦。它本来就空的，随便啦，反正这游戏应该还要玩很久很久。那我们先跟这老头讲完话，那我们就今天就先这样，就是跟这老头讲完话。好，会晚上吃啥？晚上吃是什么？就我妈煮饭啊，神灯很可爱，它还有神灯，还有奇怪的一颗。只是不知道，我一直很在意的是这一颗到底是什么？我又少什么东西吗？到底是什么？没关系，我们先跟他讲完话。人都讲完了吗？线索。
That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
这样吗？
I'm as confused as you are. It's unlike her to leave paint on the brush.
I think we'll give her a pass, given the circumstances.
Ah, yes. So we shall. It would have been a beautiful painting. It's rather a shame Freya was unable to finish it.
Nothing about it seems strange to you.
Well, all these modern paintings are slightly strange, aren't they? The emotion of the piece taking over from, say, anatomical accuracy.
What about the knife in Flora's hand?
A knife? That's what you see?
You don't?
Well, as I was saying, Freya's artistic approach distorts certain shapes. Hard to say exactly what we're looking at. Flora's quite fond of that old thing. It's in poor shape, though.
Do you know what happened to it?
Can't say I do. That looks like it might belong to Poppy. Looks like Freya's paints.
Do you know why the pots are cracked down one side?
No, that's very odd. They're normally in excellent condition.
You seem pretty sure about that. Does Flora normally keep something in here?
She must do, but I admit I've never managed to work out what.
Why not just ask her?
I feel like if somebody keeps something locked away in a ceramic egg, it's because they don't want to be asked about it.
Rules to live by.
Ah, you found it. What do you think, huh? I had to rush the final touches a little bit. It turned out all right, though.
What's it supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course, surrounded by all her favorite people.
那个蓝色胡子人是谁啊？看起来很像什么 Remington 之类的。
I've been carving for a couple of years now. I was hopeless when I started, but it didn't take me long to master it, as you can see.
Do you paint them yourself too?
I do indeed, yes. Freya kindly taught me the basics. Nowadays, I can make just about anything I can imagine. Of course, this particular model is a self-portrait based on hard fact.
Hard fact, huh? So, you own a sword, Felix?
Of course. I own a great many. But my weapons are stored well away from Tangle Tower. Safety first and all that.
I got骗.
That's one of Freya's paintings, is it not? It's impressive, but a little miserable for my tastes. My daughter Fiona and her best friend. They grow up so fast.
Do you know why it's ripped like that?
Ah, yes. I didn't even notice. No idea. Freya was quite the talent. She had a way of capturing the spirits of her subjects. Not in an evil way, in a good way. Where did you find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd. Why would someone lock up a book like that?
We think it's a secret diary.
Aha! Teenagers are funny, aren't they? Why don't you ask Fiona about that one? Looks like her area of expertise.
好多，如果每个人都要这样全部问一轮，好久。
That looks like it might belong to Fitz. I've never seen that before. Looks valuable. Now this is still in very good condition. Apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning. Oh dear.
Do you know who this is?
Not a clue.
干嘛不说？我们都知道了。
I've never been one for music. Why not ask Poppy instead? Is that a clue? Really?
It might be. The statue was up in the rooftop garden.
Yes, it's been there a while. You can see the brass is slightly tarnished by the elements, but it's not too bad. Might be salvageable. What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold. Bizarre things, aren't they? Penelope seems rather attached to them.
Do you not feel sorry for them in that little cage?
Come now, I'm sure they could leave if they really wanted to. Goodness me! That looks like it might belong to Fitz. What is it?
We don't know. We were really hoping you would.
My friends, shed your hope and let it fall free like sandbags from a hot air balloon.
That's the most depressing idiom I've ever heard.
哦，终于问完了哦。哦，我们每个人都要这样问一轮，然后真的是还有吧，应该是还有吧。而且这里空格应该是还有。Oh no！ 好多，还有这个还没开。这游戏我想一下啊、哦，可能下礼拜可以玩得完吗？我看一下我们还有几个人哦。我们还有1、2、3、4、5、6个人，然后要问完那里全部的东西，然后还有其他的人的人物关系，感觉还有一段时间，没错，感觉还有一段 时间。我应该和 Pointer 教授谈谈。好，我们下次再来谈。哦。好，一段时间没有错误啦，就是一段时间。我这个新的那个叫什么？它叫什么名字？聊天室会不会不清楚什么之类的？还是有没有刚我都没有注意看有没有挡到什么东西之类的？还好吗？不需要再大一点之类的。我觉得字感觉有点小。那我先把游戏关掉。我觉得不影响我，不影响你。不知道别的人怎么看，我要怎么出去？好，那我们先，我要怎么离开？怎么离开？好。今天还有什么话想说的吗？靠！现在还有什么话想说的吗？来，请问你的仪农好听吗？你要跟人家聊天啊？我在跟你聊天啊！你的仪农好听吗？聊自己的天，好听。我没有听过仪农的歌，但是不知道，我跟他不熟。仪农好帅，好美，好可爱。好，你可以，那我帮你转达，让他来看我的台，然后就会看到你的留言，好不好？好像不错啊。然后移动一下。那你以后就要播他的歌，要吗？那好啊，来啊！我现在就来找好不好？他进什么还是打仪农就有了。你推什么歌？不是他有没有版权啊？这样我会不会被消音？如果我在这里播的话，能不能挑跟观众聊吗？不是我们也没有什么观众他歌会不会有版权？我是不是没有办法在这里放？练习聊天，哇！我今天好像也没什么事好跟他讲啊。我前几天想到一个，我不知道，我就不知道啊，我要怎么吸引人？我前几天想到一个。就是我上次不是有跟你分享我学到的一些 phrase， 哟，不是吧？这个我没有办法。我之前在 Facebook 上看到，就是会有那种胸部很大的女生，然后她就是专门在卖奶的。我就没东西可以卖啊，很可怜好啦。我们可以来分享一下我前几天学到的 phrase， 还是大家不想听这东西太无聊了，一点都不想听。会不会很无聊？听，好听。就是反正就是我平常走路的时候很无聊，然后又因为最近没什么好听的音乐可以听，所以我就会听 podcast， 然后就听一个，它是就是专门给人家想要学英文的人听的一个 podcast， 然后他那天在跟一个会做蛋糕的人聊天，然后他们就讲到一个 phrase 叫做 icing on the cake。 等一下，这个我跟你讲过了。icing on the cake， 好 ，icing on the cake 的意思就是，有点像是锦上添花的意思嘛，就是比如说什么东西已经很好了，但是多了什么东西，多了一个东西让它变得更好了，或者是说就是它的什么东西让它变得更好，叫 icing on the cake， 就比如说我实况已经很好看了，但是呢，有观众来看的话，那个观众就会让这个实况变得更好看。那这个观众就是 icing on the cake， 没错 ，icing on the cake， 没错。那我们来看一下 Cambridge Dictionary 的解释是什么 ？Something that makes a good situation even better。好，没错，就是这样。再加一只猫，猫咪累困，猫咪累困，猫咪没空啊。好。但我觉得大家应该对这种东西没兴趣，不好意思。唉。没办法，我的台就是这么无聊，都没有人想要看，好可怜哦。今天吃的蛋糕有 icing on the cake， 什么东西的 icing？ 我觉得有趣，很有趣吗？那是你，因为你认识我，所以你才觉得有趣啊。不认识我的人可能会觉得，看这家伙，多小。之类的，而且我今天眼睛好小，为什么我眼睛快要闭起来，我快睡着了。蛋糕的部分有啊 ，icing on the cake。你说蛋糕是一整天的 icing on the cake 吗？好啦，还是希望我们的今天的icing是啥？蛋糕吗？还是狗狗？今天看到很多狗狗，还是希望偶眠的实况可以有所成长，希望有更多观众。然后来看的人，大家都可以留下来。我现在目前想说，就是 Tangle Tower 玩完的话，我们来玩刺客教条的第一代好了。我打算想要把刺客教条全部都玩过一遍，所以我们从头开始。我上礼拜还是前几天买了刺客教条的第一代，他那时候打折才86块而已，那个游戏86块，超神的。好，就大家双11在打折啊，特卖，超特卖，然后还有什么 Origin 起源，也是刺客教条的一代刺客教条的其中一个作品，然后叫 Origin， 中文叫起源，然后我买好像300多块，它原价就是1500左右，忘了1000多啦， 然后它打折打到骨折，300多块，买下来，赶快买下来，这样之后就可以来玩了。真稀哦，真的稀哦。它其实还有还有很多在打折，但我想说，我先买这样子，然后之后如果要玩再来买，不然大家都打到骨折了。但我现在没有那么多钱，我好穷。好啊，也2个小时了。12点42分哦，哇，这么晚了。抖内，你要不要抖内我？但我还没有设定好，因为我想说，现在没有人嘛，没有人会想要理我，放一个抖内在那里，反而会让人家觉得，看他妈你他妈才刚开始，你就想要拿抖内。哦。我们之后再说啦。如果以后真的大家很想要把钱给我的话，我就开抖内啦。放着吗？好啦，那我去研究一下，要怎么开，好不好？去研究一下，然后跟大家预告一下我的这个版面，这叫版面吗？之后会更新，就不会是长这样子了。好啦，那我们今天就这样吧，大家早点睡觉，期待，好，期待，大家期待，给我期待，好，我们今天就这样，让大家早点睡觉。没错，明天 Blue Monday， 不对，一定是今天呢。早点睡觉，明天上课、上班、上课 ，whatever。好啦。那就是还是要提醒大家记得追随一下，然后 YouTube 也可以订阅一下啦， Facebook 按个赞啦，好不好？然后感谢今天收看的朋友，不小心看到的朋友，记得每个礼拜五、每个礼拜天晚上记得来看。好，我们下次再见，拜拜。